Hi all, in today's video we have 3 pull top and 3 transformer metas that are super helpful in region guessing Japan. These are relatively newly discovered metas and therefore should not be widely known. I've also always noting where credit goes for new metas, and while I've done plenty of my own research for pull tops, the credit for the transformer metas 100% goes to other people. These are a few metas that I haven't talked about much in previous videos, so they're also new and just in terms of my channel. Speaking of new, I also got a new headset and I have no idea if it sounds better or worse than the last one, so we will have to see. Sorry for the longer intro, but I also have an important channel update. This will be my last video for, probably my last video for a few months. Starting later this week, I'll be moving to Japan and studying there for a semester. I don't know exactly what my schedule will look like, but in all likelihood too busy to worry about YouTube. So big thanks to everyone that has followed my videos over the past couple months, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first one is a useful pull top that is specific to Chugoku, so Yamaguchi, Shimane, Hiroshima, Okayama, and Tottori prefectures. It looks like this. So it's a rounded connecting piece to the top of the pole, thin circular vertical piece that sits right on top of the pole with rings on either side. This is probably an even better example of it. Like you also get these little gaps where it connects to the pole like this as well. This is what it can look like right underneath it. And it's kind of the cousin to this cone-shaped one with rings on either side that you get a lot in Kanto, but you can also find this also in Okinawa and alongside this kind in Chugoku. But so this right here is what I would look out for Chugoku, one that's region specific. Next we have extenders. This first one is going to be for Kansai, but this metal piece attached to this top bar that you'll find on a lot of poles when you have this piece that's 120 degrees like this, so it's angled downward off the end of the pole. This thing here is specific to Kansai. We can have a couple different examples because they're relatively not found on every pole, but are relatively common. Here's a tuning fork pole top, also specific to Kansai. And these ones in Kansai exist in contrast to Shikoku ones um, that serve a similar purpose, but are 90 degrees and therefore like stick really close to this top bar, but look more like this. So they serve the same function where they like connect down to like the transformers and stuff, though I don't know exactly how all of it works. Um, but they're typically at a 90-degree angle like this. And remember, this is specific to Shikoku. This kind is specific to Kansai. So Shikoku, this island here, in Kansai, the prefecture is around Osaka. 120 degrees versus 90 degrees. These things are hard to spot if you're not don't know what to look for, because they seem kind of small and can get lost in the mix of all this stuff. But if you keep an eye out for them, you can notice them a lot. It'll be very helpful. Next, we're moving on to transformer metas, and so Kanto, so our area around Tokyo, has a whole bunch of interesting characteristics, like possible characteristics for the transformers that stand out quite a bit. The first is that you get a lot of transformers resting on wooden wooden planks like this on either side of the pole, which is um, pretty unique to in itself. And this is something you can oftentimes see from a distance. You can see these planks, but that's unique to Kanto. Here's another view of it underneath. Um, a lot of times you can also see transformers resting on two metal bars. Like you see they're like this is one here. But sometimes they're resting directly on two of them. And this is only found in Hokkaido and Kanto. And there are even specific differences in the bars, but if you just remember that it's Kanto and Hokkaido, I think you should be able to tell them apart even on their own. And here's this cone-shaped pole top with like a ring on either side that I mentioned briefly in the Chugoku section. And the last type, or not that there is in total, but a last like detail that you can look out for that is again still Kanto, are these are transformers that are free floating like this. They're not sitting on anything, and they have like these zigzag pieces that stick out pretty far and have vertical white bits at the end. Again, I don't really know what function it serves, but especially like ones this long are easier to see and are specific to Kanto. So you're not going to get these traits for every single transformer in Kanto, um, but there are a couple different kinds that are specific and pretty easy to notice and take advantage of. And that's around Tokyo. Next, we have Kyushu transformers and Okinawa as well. So Kyushu is one of very few places that mounts their transformers 180 degrees, so exactly like opposite sides of the pole from each other. Most will be um, like a less than 180 degrees, so pointing in the same direction. But Kyushu and Okinawa will have mounted on the attached to the pole like this, with these pieces here, and directly 180 degrees from each other. So that's something, if you're close enough to the pole to tell that they're in completely opposite directions, then you know it's Kyushu or Okinawa. They also often have these like patches on the bottom. And you can tell, here's another example of a Kyushu one, and you can tell the Kyushu versus Okinawa ones like this. They're both, they attach to the poles in similar ways and are mounted 180 degrees from each other, but Okinawa will also have this T-shaped bar, where Kyushu ones will only have like a single simple bar or nothing at all, like nearby the transformers. Um, so if you see the vertical ones, if you see the bar, this T-shaped bar, well, then you can narrow it down to specifically Okinawa out of Kyushu and Okinawa. Those transformers, and the last ones are something that have actually briefly mentioned on the channel previously, but are Chubu transformers. This setup with transformers, so two transformers, or actually just one, but specifically this triangle shape structure over top of them. So this triangle support structure for the transformers, so it can look like two like this, or even if there's just one attached here, it's these bars here. This triangle structure is unique to Chubu and is surprisingly like easy to tell from a distance, and is something that can be very recognizable and is not like every pole, but I mean, if we just look at this, we can see it's also the same thing over here on this one, um, just like we have here. So that is Chubu. So I guess I didn't grab a map, but that is the Aichi Prefecture and Nagoya, and the prefectures surrounding that. So Mie, Gifu, Nagano, and the western part of Shizuoka. And that'll be all for today. Thanks all for watching. I'll still be around the general GeoGuessr community for sure, but that's all for me here for a few months. Until next time, I'll see you.